Welcome back, everyone. So a couple weeks ago, I had a comment come across one of my other videos asking, do I wish I would have bought a 35 horsepower tractor over the 25 now? Simple answer, no, I'm still happy with the 25. And I'm going to explain sort of how I come up with that whole thought process on why the 25 is just fine for me, and it may be fine for somebody else. And this may help somebody that's sort of on the fence trying to decide, which one that they want to purchase. And this information or thought process, whatever you want to call it, can go towards other manufacturers of tractors and other sizes of tractors as well. Now, for me, the main consideration was diesel particulate filter. It's not that I hate it, it's that from what I understand, you need to run them at a higher RPM majority of the time to keep the exhaust hot to reduce the amount of regens. I knew how I was going to use this tractor before I purchased it. I sort of referenced back to how I used my smaller tractor that I had in the past, the Kubota B7500, and I'm using this one sort of kind of the same way. I'm not working the tractor hard to where I'm keeping that exhaust hot all the time. Most of my work is low RPM, idling around, working my food plots. I don't use a rototiller. I did borrow a rototiller for one of my videos just to see what it would do. There's a bunch of stones out here, and I think a disc is better for my application. Since I'm not running the tractor at high RPMs and keeping that exhaust hot, that was a big consideration for me. So what else did I look at on purchasing a tractor? Another thing that I looked at was the loader capacity, or the loader lift capacity. All of the 3 D series John Deeres have the same loader. The 25, the 35, and the 43 all pick up the same amount of weight. So there wasn't an advantage for me on going to a bigger horsepower for that. The next thing was weight. There's not a whole lot of difference in weight across all 3 models of the D series. From the 25 to the 43, you're talking less than 100 pounds of weight. So that wasn't so much of a consideration. It was more just what you wanted. Then it boils down to PTO horsepower. That is where I think you're going to see the advantage of all 3 tractors. How you're going to see the advantage is the amount of time that it takes you to do work. And I've got 2 different examples to sort of, kind of try to explain it. Now, it's just numbers. This isn't real data. It's just an example. So before I get into all that, if you look at the packages that they offer for all 3 D series John Deeres, they all have the same size brush hog or rotary cutter, whatever you want to call it, and the same size box blade. It's a 5 foot. Where you're going to see that advantage of that more horsepower is the amount of time it takes you to do work. I wasn't in a big hurry. I'm not in a big hurry now. I take my time and do stuff at whatever speed I can do it at, and that's it. To sort of try to explain how that works, or to try to give a good example for that, would be, let's say we'll just use a 1 acre field. If I'm able to mow that 1 acre field with that 5 foot brush hog, and it takes me 1 hour to mow it with the 25 horse, it's going to take me less time with the 35 and the 43. So like I say, these numbers aren't exact. It's just something that I just threw out there for an example. Let's say it takes me 50 minutes with the 35 and it takes me 40 minutes with the 43. With that extra horsepower, you're able to keep the 540 PTO RPM at a faster travel speed. So like I said, you're able to do work faster. The other example I sort of come up with was, we'll use a wood chipper for instance. If I'm using a wood chipper on a 25 horse, I can only feed it so much at a time, whereas with more horsepower, I'm going to be able to feed more product into it quicker. So it's going to take less time to do work. So that is where I think you'll see an advantage of more horsepower. Now, am I still happy with my 25? Yes. Still happy with it, still love it. I'm going to continue to use it. It does everything that I need it to do. And maybe it'll, do the same thing for somebody else. Some recommendations I'd probably recommend in purchasing one of these D-Series tractors is get some wheel spacers, especially if you're not going to do the eye match like me. It makes it a lot easier hooking up implements on the 3-point. If you're in a northern region, have them go ahead and put the block heater on. You can do it yourself, but if you're already paying for the tractor, I will just have them do it. The other thing that I probably wish I would have purchased, especially since they don't have the third function available yet for that, would be a set of rear remotes, because worst case I could run hoses from the rear remotes up to the loader for a grapple or another implement on the rear or something. That's just one of the other things that I wish that I would have done on purchasing the tractor. So hopefully this information might help somebody that might be on the fence on deciding what tractor they want to purchase, whether it be John Deere, Kubota, whatever. It's just something that I sort of thought I'd bring up and sort of talk about. Maybe it'll help somebody. So you guys have a good one. Thanks for watching.